Good morning. How's everyone today? Hope you're doing well. Where is Kevin today? Well, in the workshop. You know, I always like to be as transparent as I can and just don't beat around the bush and just talk straight. You know, I have nothing to hide and I'm not going to lie to you. So I woke up this morning feeling a bit for a few reasons. And when I look back at it now, and it was like years ago years ago I would have, when something doesn't feel right, it's like a bus going by and you go, yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like this. And what do? You get on the bus and you allow that emotion to carry you along. But I watched, you can say the watcher is watching the mood. And I think, I don't like that mood. So I don't want to get on that bus. Let it go and just sit back and keep watching it and say, why do I feel like this? And don't attach yourself to it, because it's like your subconscious mind bringing you something. And years ago, I would have just got on the bus and went with it and say, I'm depressed, I don't feel good. Pity party. But I've learned over the years, be calm for a minute, breathe, and detach yourself from the emotion. It's the same as when somebody says something nasty to you. You are, and what do? Right back. And I heard something really interesting. It was actually a statement. In Pinterest, I like to look at pictures. I got a thing about pictures. I guess that's the photographer in me. And this thing popped up and it says, never argue with an idiot in public, because others watching won't know which is the idiot. Oh, so the same thing. They say something bad, they get an instant reaction, and you go, and you're just playing the game, and who's the idiot? So the idea is, this is my idea, try to separate yourself from your conscious mind and watch. What are you thinking? Why? Is it necessary? Is it right? So that, like I said, this morning I woke up and I'm just feeling like, It rained last night a little tiny bit, just enough to make everything wet. The good thing is the mosquitoes are going. And so I'm just like sitting there in my, but in my mind I'm watching it going, why are you here? And I don't know why it was here. And I'm slowly starting to come away from it. But I could have got on the bus and just went with it and spent the whole day frumping it. But I choose not to frump it. So the idea is, when you have an emotion, any emotion, or somebody talks to you, just keep that distance between when they say something and you open your mouth and start getting animated and reacting. Because when you don't react, you keep your peace and you keep your sanity, which is your strength. Because another emotion that come to me this morning was, I think this world is like a testing ground. You're here to go through whatever. I just heard what I said. I just heard what I said. You live here to go through whatever. So I had relationships in the past I can categorize as whatever. I can't swear. But what a mess. So I was a mess because of my childhood, and then this person comes into my life and brings her mess and tries to impose her mess on me. And the reacting thing, there was no pause between hearing and reacting. So we didn't get on and we didn't stay together. The second thing also had extramarital activities, but now I look back and I think that's on them. That's their deal. They have to live with that, not me. You know, I heard something this morning about narcissism. It was somebody's video short, and it said about narcissists. I think it's a British woman was saying it. She said a narcissist, when it's time to go, you know, time to leave the earth suit and go to the other side, when it's time, they're very lonely and sick people because they finally come to realize that all the people they try to manipulate to make themselves feel better in all their lives are not there anymore. And who are the ones that are the closest? Their children. And they're not there anymore. And they're lonely, sad, sick, and just do things to leave. So everything can happen here, but we can also make a choice. We can make a choice. And I say, the reason I say to you every day, I really care about you, right? Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. Why do I say that? Do I say it so that you feel good and come back at me and say, oh, isn't Kevin wonderful? No, that's not what it's about. It's about buckets of blessings. So what is a blessing? Somebody comes and does something for you, maybe buys you a coffee, a smile, you get some unexpected discount. I said this already, that when I had to buy a new phone the other day because my other one got a big green line down the middle of it, and I thought I was going to be able to get through it, but it was really annoying. So in the end I said, okay, I'll buy a new one. It's still functional, but the screen is definitely starting to fade and not look good. So on payday I might bite the bullet and have a new screen put on it, and then it will work again. What do I need it for? Well, I could leave my nice new one in the house and then bring the old one outside, wandering around the garden videoing whatever guests arrive, you know, snakes in the middle of the night or whatever. It's just, I don't like wasting things. Anyway, I bought the new phone. I went in, there was the price. I said, okay, there was a line through it and you could save 500 baht. I said, okay, I'll have 500 baht off. So I spent 15,499 baht for a new phone. After I paid, I sat down and they come back and said, here's 500 more baht. Why did they give me 500 more baht? Because they said, recently we remodeled the shop and we want to give you 500 baht. I said, okay, thanks so much. To me, that is a blessing. So when I say buckets, that means a lot of them. Fill the bucket up with all those little things. So if each one's a pea in physical shape, but when you break it open, I get 500 baht. So 500 baht is about $12, I think. No, it's about 12 pounds. So it's about $16, $17, $18, something like that. Anyway, it's a blessing. So I say buckets of blessings because I want you to have that. So, and rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. Rivers means a lot of peace. Because in this world, there's plenty of people who want to steal your peace. Right? Joy, so you can smile and feel light and enjoy life. Peace, joy, and kindness, so that you can have And I say that because I've lived through the mess and I want you to have it. So there's no lesson here. I'm just rambling. But I guess the thing is to put the distance between when somebody's nasty, because they're queuing up to come find you to be nasty. In traffic, I mean, you've seen the videos on driving in Thailand. Some of the things, it's ridiculous. And if I have, react to anything that people do, like on the main highway traveling at like 30 miles an hour, if it was in the West, they'd be pulled over and given a ticket for being dangerous. But whatever. You know, trucks over, yesterday, coming back from, we went to the river, coming back yesterday, there was a pickup truck full of stuff on the back. And it was so full, there was this tiny breeze, but when the breeze hit the truck was going like this and coming into my lane. I'm like, dude! But there's a test wherever you go. And the stronger you think you get, the bigger the tests come. I think I talked myself into happiness. I just check and make sure my camera doesn't switch me off, because it gets it keeps switching itself off. Anyway, the good thing is buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and happiness, and kindness, and all good things. So I pray for you that wherever you go to shopping or whatever you're doing, somebody wants to give you something. And if you get a lot of that, leave a comment and tell me. It happens all the time. But why does it happen all the time? Because you give. So I have a practice, and because I never had money in my first marriage, payday come, I don't know what she did with it, she took it all. You know, and it's my fault, because what I should have done in the end, after years of this, what I should have done is said, okay, taken her name off my bank account, so when my pay goes into the bank account, I transfer money to her account, and she can manage the food with that. That's what I should have done, but I didn't. You know, time and wisdom doesn't come in a packet. It comes by time. But now I have some money. I don't have anybody taking my money. And I have enough left over at the end of each month living here. I have a house and no rent. So there's a big chunk right there, right? So what I do is, when I fill up my tank with diesel, I give the guy usually 20 baht. But I can't say everything I do, because if you tell people you're doing it, then that's your blessing. So better to don't tell nobody, so that it can come back. So if you give some, like you buy a cup of coffee, you leave them no change. You get some gas. Normally you don't do that with gas, but you know, here in Thailand, not. So you give them 20 baht, they can buy a drink. 50 baht, you can buy a coffee, whatever. But a lot of times I don't think it matters. What matters is you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're giving something to somebody else. And by giving that, you're opening the door to blessings. Because whatever you give out, the universe watches and says, the river is flowing out of his pocket, so we can flow into his pocket. If you're stingy, like I was, because you're used to not having, and you have to keep what you do have. But then one day you wake up and realize, like I did, you go, I'm so blessed. I have so much. I'm so grateful. And that gratefulness, when it finally hits you, it's like a ding, 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 the bell goes off in your head and you go, I have enough. I have enough. There's people in the world, in the West, and right, in Europe and in the US, Canada, whatever, who don't have what I have. Peace of mind, food in the fridge, a place to put my head. How many people live on the street? How many people don't have a sound mind? And I think the biggest gift in the world is, I've said this to Jan many times, the biggest gift that anybody could have is a sound mind. Because without that, you can't have nothing. Everything can be taken from you. So by giving away, you're opening the floodgates. Shh, don't talk about floods. You're opening the gates for blessings to come in. So you don't have to do a lot. $1 here, a euro here, a baht here, an Australian dollar there or there. French don't have shillings anymore. Switzerland still has shillings, I believe. Anyway, if you give, it comes back. Give with a good heart. Don't tell nobody what you're doing and watch it happen. Why am I saying all this? I have no idea. No idea. But I guess somebody out there needs to hear it. So before somebody leaves a negative comment, somebody out there needs to hear this. And if you have an open heart, just say thank you. I'll have it. I'll have all of that. But don't get on the bus. When somebody nasty, don't react. Put that pause in between reacting. So when they say something nasty, just say, keep no facial expression. Just say thank you and walk away. I've learned a lot just in the last couple months. I thought I was learning over the years, but something just changed. Like people who are nasty, it might be a good idea to put distance between you and them, especially if it's a spouse, brother, sister, uncles, aunts. I had them all. I have them all. I had an uncle, Gilbert. What a name, huh? He was a prize. The world owed him everything, and he was stingy. Any money he would make, he would tell everybody, I got this money and I'm not giving it to no one. All that sort of stuff. I bought a 200-pound bike, which today would be about, I bought this in like 1973. About 1973, I bought a rally racer for 200 pounds. So how much would that be in today's money? Like $1,000? 1,000 pounds, something like that. So I bought this bike because I didn't have a mode of transport, and I pedaled everywhere on that thing. Fast, first gear, I could even get up Linden Hill in Lincoln. It was like this, really steep, but I could get up it. And my heart would, at like 16 years old, 15, 16, my heart would be sitting on the handlebars, trying to get air. But he took that bike, never paid me no money, he just took it, sold it, and then said, I got to like Lance Corporal, Sergeant, and when I got to Sergeant, he said, well, first before I joined the Army, he said, he'll never amount to note, which in normal English is nothing, right? And he won't go no farther than Sergeant. And then shortly after that, I think 18 months after that, got Staff Sergeant. And then 6 months after that, Warrant Officer. Never amount to note, won't go no farther. Ex-father-in-law, same thing. These are all people who love you. I tell you what, there's no such thing as a young wise man. You have to get to nearly 69 to be wise, right? Well, I pray that there are some young wise men who are watching this and don't have to go through a quarter of what but here's the point. When you go through the pain, you can get on the bus and go with it, or you can stand back from a distance and look at it and go, what can I learn from this? And each time, the closest people, like a husband or wife, are the ones who can press your buttons the most. So when you can be calm, distance yourself from their snappy comments and not react. Don't get on the bus. Don't argue with them. When you can do that, you can say you're a black belt, because it's the ones who are the closest get under your skin the easiest and fastest. So then you know you're getting somewhere. Because the person at the 7-Eleven or the local convenience store who gets under your skin, it's easy to deal with them. You just, when you go in, when you come out, just don't show no emotions. You know what's really cool though? I hear people saying, I said this myself a couple of years ago, that I think young people today are different than when I was young. They seem more aware. And this is when I was on YouTube before, and a couple of people said, commented, you know. But I'm hearing people today, younger people, saying things, and I go, wow. But there are also many people talking about how enlightenment's going to come to the masses. It's just going to be like this is what I'm told. I can't predict the future, but it's going to come, and then all of a sudden it's going to go whoosh, and lots of people are going to wake up. Not all. There's still going to be the naysayers, of course. The narcissist, naysayer, negative, who will never wake up. Never. Let's hope. I can't estimate how many, but I think the world will be a better place when you finally realize that the people who work in the buildings marked with GOV on, or were not the ones who said they were. You know, I hear stories about past leaders, I'm trying to be cryptic here, past leaders who worked in the big white building with GOV on were so corrupt, and let's leave it there. But the point is, people are waking up, and I'm very, very excited about that. So, what's Kevin doing today? I decided I'm going to finish the bird aviary, and I'm going to clean up my mess on my table first. I'm not going to show you, it's a mess. It's full of little projects. So, in conclusion, don't get on the bus. I know it's difficult if you've never done it before. You probably think, what is he talking about? Has he lost his marbles? Probably have. Living here alone too long, right? So, how do you do it? The first thing is, one thing you can experiment with this is kind of cool. Go somewhere where you're alone for a couple minutes, right? No TV, nothing. Sit still for a minute and feel what your emotions feel like. So if I said to you, what are you feeling? You could start reeling it all off. Say, okay, this is how I feel, this is my emotions, this is where I am in these different feelings. Stop for a second and just breathe through your nose. If you can sit up straight, not like on a lazy boy, but like on a chair, or sit up on the edge, be comfortable, and just breathe through your nose. Many people say about breathing like in so many, out so many, hold. Just breathe in. Hold it till you feel uncomfortable a little bit, and then let it back out and let it go out your mouth. But always breathe in through your nose. There's reasons for it, but not here. Anyway, and do that for like what feels like 5 minutes, okay? And just feel how all those tensions start disappearing. And just keep, and you observe it for yourself. And then think about this, when people are nasty, so you can have that, the trigger response is to shout back, but let your trigger response be calm and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit slower if you can. And before you react, breathe and just say thank you and walk away. To anybody, including your spouse. Your spouse is supposed to be the one that loves you, not the one who wants to pull you down or put pressure on you or manipulate, be a narcissist with you. So if you're not getting, hey, I did it too. I stayed in relationships way too long. And you want to hear the ultimate stupid? You shouldn't talk like that because your subconscious mind hears it and does what you say. But I asked the first one to leave, right? But then I went to visit them almost a year later, I guess. Went to visit to see my children because I was in Germany and they were in the UK, and they were living with a family friend who I think both of them were, and I'm not being funny, I think they were mentally challenged, or at least she was, and they had children and they no diaper or pamper on, running around the house peeing wherever they wanted to. As soon as you walk into the house, you got a breath of urine. So, crazy boy said, this is what I said, if you can keep your pants up, I'll get because I was going to be moved back to the UK. I said, if you can keep your pants up, we can, I can get a house and we can move back in together for the sake of the children. And she said, yes, okay, I'll do that. Well, I went to Colchester. 3 months later, I went to the Falklands. While I was in the Falklands for 6 months, she was pregnant. So clearly that didn't work, did it? So don't do as Kevin did. Get yourself free. Make a new plan. Was it? Make a new plan, Stan. Get yourself free. So this isn't meant to be doom and gloom. It's to bring light to you guys so you don't have to live what I lived through. And hopefully you can have the fun and happiness and whatever. Everybody's going through something. So if you think you're way advanced than me, then please leave a comment about what you think I should look at, because I don't know everything, and the person who says they know everything are not available to learn, and I'm open to learn. But anybody that touches something, you can also say, hey Kev, thanks for that. I think that's a good idea, or whatever. So, on that note, I hope you have a wonder-filled day. Buckets. So now when I say buckets of blessings, you can look in the bucket and see where your blessings are. Have a wonder-filled day. Buckets of blessings. Rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. Later, guys. My friend.